Hey everybody, how's it going? Kelly from MAMJ Let's Play here, and today I finally decided to give you guys my thoughts and reactions to Steins Gate as a whole. Now, for any of you guys who have actually stumbled across this video and have not seen Steins Gate, this isn't the video for you. You definitely need to go back and just experience it. Like, play the visual novel, watch the anime, do something so that you have an idea of what's going on, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers in the video as well as in the comment section, and I don't want this experience to be ruined for you guys. But for everybody else who wanted to know what I thought about Steins Gate, this is the video where you guys can learn pretty much everything about that. So let me go ahead and say that I did have the opportunity to watch the anime as well as the OVA and the movie. Now, there are some very different things that happen in the anime as opposed to the visual novel. So I'm gonna try to not sound too nitpicky, because obviously they had to change some things, but there were some things that I liked more in the anime, and there's some other things that I like more in the visual novel, and I wanted to let you guys know what I thought about that, and you guys can let me know how you guys felt about those adaptations and changes and things like that. Now, when it comes to the entire experience as a whole, if you had time to commit to Steins Gate, what should you do? I would say play the visual novel. Play the visual novel first, experience it on your own. And that was really thanks to you guys, because I had not seen the anime. I didn't have anything spoiled because of that. And so I went in with a completely fresh set of eyes, and I experienced everything that Steins Gate had to offer. The anime is relatively short. I think it's about 22 or 24 episodes. It's not very long. And so there's a lot of stuff that gets cut out of it that you really don't get to see completely fleshed out like you do in the visual novel. For example, the character endings, they're not there, first off, but like each world line has their own arc. In the anime, they condense it down into one episode. So for like Lukako's date, you get one episode, which is really well done. Like, I like the fact that they add Kurisu and Daru running around and like kind of like chirping in and out of the date throughout the entire day. But at the same time, in the visual novel, it's several days that Okabe and Lukako go out. And I think that adds a lot more weight to the decision that you have to make when he has to choose whether or not to let Lukako go back to being a boy or not. You know, it's just one of those things where it has a lot more weight because you've experienced it a lot more. And another time where that happens is with Ferris. In the anime, you pretty much go straight into the fact that she's won the tournament and that Shido and his men are after her, which Shido makes no appearance whatsoever, which I'm okay with. I didn't like him that much, but he's just like a voice on a phone. But I really feel like the whole Ferris arc got cut short, because you don't get to see that part where she loses and she's upset and she tells him, hey, if you help me win this match, then I'll let you know the contents of the D-mail that I sent. Whether or not she knew that at the time, we had no idea. But when my biggest complaint is my least favorite character didn't get enough screen time, that's saying something. Like, the writers did an amazing job with the story in general. I really enjoyed it, but like I said, I really thought Ferris was my least favorite character, but by the time I experienced her alternate ending and saw how much pain she was in, I really felt for her, and I really felt like she was a human being, even though she puts on the cat-made persona, and that's something that not a lot of shows and characters can do, like change your mind partway through the entire experience. So props to them for doing that. But all the alternate endings are much better in the visual novel. There are some nods to it in the animes, but it's just not as good and not as well done. A lot of the side characters don't get the crazy, like, I don't even know how to say it, like the crazy spiral of, I don't know, they just lose their mind sometimes. Like, Naya goes absolutely bonkers. Some of the characters just, they don't know how to cope with it, and sometimes it's Okabe himself. Like in Suzuha's ending, he goes crazy and it's very dark and it makes you uncomfortable, but it's interesting to see how it affects everybody. So if you have the opportunity to do one or the other, obviously the visual novel is better by far. At the same time, I feel like the anime does a good job of giving you a condensed experience. You know, it's still rather slow paced at the beginning. If you know what's going to happen, you want it to happen sooner. I didn't like the fact that Tennoji, his whole scene where they meet up at the construction site, I didn't think it didn't make a lot of sense to me, because I feel like in the visual novel it occurred in his house because that's where they were. It makes sense that he would sit them down there and he'd pull the gun out and, you know, like they'd have the whole blowout there. But in the anime, for some, I don't know what the reason was, because it really doesn't add to the story at all. Not like, you know, Lukaku's date did, but he takes them out to a construction site and they just kind of go with him. And he ends up, you know, taking his own life. And I just didn't feel like it had the same impact. Maybe it was to avoid the whole Naya going crazy timeline, but there's just some things like that where I feel like they could have slowed it down a little bit and given it more time, and it would have had a lot stronger of an impact, especially for those who have not experienced the visual novel. Okay, so anyways, that's kind of the anime and the visual novel comparing against one another. Now, the OVA is kind of interesting because I don't know if it added a lot to the story personally. What I feel like they did was the kind of end credit thing that happens in the visual novel, where Okabe goes and gives everybody the badge and you learn about what everybody's doing, but in the anime they don't really do that, and so they kind of cover everything, like Lukaku becoming a famous cosplayer and things like that in the OVA. So for a 20-minute episode, it doesn't really add that much. It's still fun to see them go to the States and Okabe saying he's a mad scientist and getting arrested and all those kind of things, but I don't know, like, it just felt kind of extra, I guess. It didn't feel like one of those things that would stay in my memory forever. It's not a bad thing, and it's obviously worth a watch, but it wasn't as good as the movie was. And oh my god, let me talk about the movie for a minute. So, the Steins Gate movie is absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. It was so well done. For those of you who haven't seen it and you like Steins Gate, watch it. It's amazing. So it builds on the true ending of Steins Gate, and the way that they handle it, the fact that Okabe's mind can't process all these world lines anymore, and it's like it's rejecting him. It's crazy. I loved it so much. I like the fact that, like, Kurisu is sitting there and she's trying to deal with this, and for a while she accepts the fact that Okabe doesn't want her to make a time leap machine, but of course in the end we all know that it just has to be, and it has to be something that she does so that she can save him. And it's very, very well done. I really enjoyed it. You would think that they couldn't end it any better than the original ending, the true ending in the visual novel and the anime itself, but the movie actually adds to it and gives you another layer of that Okabe and Kurisu dynamic. That's really what makes the whole series shine. So I guess that's really all I have to say about it. I don't know. I'm sure when I do more of these videos, I'll be able to give you guys more in-depth critique and things like that. But there's not really anything I can say bad about Steins Gate besides I want more of it. You know, like, it was very well done. But at the same time, it's its own self-contained story. And it's just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And I think it's one of my favorite games that I played, definitely on the channel last year, if not ever in my life. It's very, very well done. And it was just awesome. So I don't know if I sufficiently provided you guys with my input, but let me know in the comments how you guys feel about it, whether you agree or disagree and things like that. And I'll definitely try to expand my thoughts and things like that in the comment section as well. But I will try to do some more vlogs where we kind of sit down and have a one-on-one chat, if you will, about different things. And sometimes it'll be about the channel, sometimes it'll be about, you know, whatever's going on in my life, or just letting you guys know about certain milestones and things like that. But for the most part, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did watch all of the Steins Gate episodes and everything that was out there, and I enjoyed it tremendously. Like, I definitely want to add it to like a Blu-ray collection or something like that very, very soon. But that is it for me. Let me know what you guys thought about Steins Gate and whether or not you agree with my opinions about the fact that they should have made Ferris's story longer, or that they I don't know, all the things I've said in the past few minutes. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ. I'm really, really happy with the fact that you guys are enjoying the games that I've been playing. Now, I'm probably going to be mixing it up a little bit. As you guys saw at the end of the year, I played Eternal Senia, which was one of your guys' suggestions, and I've been getting a ton of other suggestions as well. Please don't take it personally if I don't play one of the games that you guys suggested, but I will be playing some games that you guys have been suggesting. So over the Christmas break, or whatever you want to call it, I did purchase Undertale, and I bought Sound of